Oh, yeah, he's growing into his face.
Mm-hmm.
Although I always thought he was kind of cute.
He looks like he should play Lex Luthor.
I was going to say I thought he was cute and like a sad boy art student, kind of.
Oh, he definitely has sad boy vibes. For sure.
Sad boy deluxe.
Yeah. He would make you a mixtape still.
Look at that. Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching This Show, your new favorite pop culture YouTube channel where we talk about movies, TV, music, and more. And as always, this is a spoiler show, but we're talking about kind of an old movie, so you've been warned. I like blacked out while I was doing that. And Jesus took the wheel. Could you hear in my voice the moment that I was like...
Yeah.
Literally, I was like...
I do that a lot when I'm at work. Yeah. Where I ask people all the time, like, do you ever have a moment where you're talking and then like you leave the room?
Your brain's just like...
Yeah, and then you're just like, I just showed up to this conversation. That happened to me when I was coming out of anesthesia, and I was like in the middle of like crying to a nurse, and I sat up and I went, I'm so sorry, I just showed up to this conversation. I don't know what we're talking about. Bless that lady.
So on today's episode, we are going to have probably not too long of a conversation, but we're going to have a chat about the 2014 supernatural psychological horror film, It Follows.
It could look like someone you know, or it could be a stranger in a crowd. Whatever helps it get close to you.
I'm not scared. Yay, I made it. Sorry, I blew the wad really early. But
So yeah, this was a first like proper sit down episode in the Rachel Watches a Scary Movie series. And you were really, really plussed. You were really pressed going into this.
yes, I was very scared.
And you're fine.
I'm totally fine.
Totally fine.
Yes, totally fine. I don't think I'm going to need to watch something particularly like happy before I go to bed.
Did you like it?
I did like it. No, I liked it. I'm glad that I watched it. I'm just very glad that I'm just not like.
At first I thought you'd be fine, but then the more we talked about it, I was like, oh, she's going to go existential. And so let me ask, at what point in the movie did you know you were okay?
When the gal, what is her name? I'm Jay. When she was making really fucking dumb mistakes and just like completely didn't listen to what what he said, and then she was just doing the complete opposite. And when the gun made its appearance, and when they decided they were going to shoot the thing that they couldn't fucking see, and I'm like, okay, I got it now.
So there are multiple ways to watch a horror film. And I, for the most part, am the kind of person that I just immerse myself in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I found the mythos of this world, the concept of it, to be terrifying and sort of, it leaves you feeling stranded in a way that the movie really captures.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of wide angle lenses, and there's a lot of, she's not alone. I mean, she's in suburbs, cityscapes and stuff, and yet she feels so completely isolated. And so I was so...
Sorry, him knocking on the wall just scared me a little bit.
Husband/editor Will is working on his computer, and so there's thumping on the walls.
My brain literally went 1, 2, bye. Because that's how I do things. I plan anyway. Sorry.
So I get lost in the magic and the whimsy of it, and the concept of it was just so terrifying. And then there's the heaviness because it's pretty blatantly, or at least certainly like a
parable for not having sex.
Or like STDs,
yes.
Like adulthood, all of that.
Yes.
So that's a pretty standard interpretation, and that left me at least with a heaviness.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely scared me. It's spooky, and the fact that it just walks. I mean, it's just the
It's
slow.
very eerie.
It's dreadful.
Mhm.
So you're always kind of just waiting for it to happen. So I found that to be really impactful.
What I was getting at was the way that I've gathered that you watch movies is you very much put yourself in the position
Yes.
of the person. And
Yes.
so as soon as she was making decisions that you wouldn't make, it allowed yourself to remove from the movie.
Yes.
And you were very much a spectator, I think.
Yes.
Sort of like.
Yeah, because the answers are just, he literally tells her, he straps her to a wheelchair in the beginning of the movie after he strikes her down with this issue. And he says, this is what's going to happen.
Which that was interesting because at first you were it was very psychological where you were like, why is she tied to a wheelchair? What's happening?
Mhm.
And because his survival counts on this. He's like, I need you to see it.
Yeah.
He's like, I need you to understand.
Yes, which, I don't know, maybe tell the girl that you've tied to a fucking wheelchair what you're doing. Like, so, because I was thinking he was like feeding her to it.
Mm-hmm.
But with the way that everything works out, that wouldn't help him. So the entire time I would be going like to the tune of Sondheim, you need 2 doors, like you need an absolute exit to get out of a room. You like it just, I can't even remember everything.
2 doors to leave the room.
Yes, exactly. I just constant song. I was going to try to do it, but then I couldn't find it and I panicked. So I just said it. So thank you.
A dick to sit upon.
Yeah. And you. Oh, God.
This might affect how you feel about the movie, but in an interview after the fact, the director, I think he has an itch to tell another, like a sequel, but I don't know that there are current...
An itch, you say? Sorry.
I don't know that there are current plans.
Okay.
But he was very clear that what Hugh tells her are only the rules that Hugh has figured out.
Oh, okay.
So they're not gospel.
Okay.
And there's more to it than what Hugh thinks he knows about it.
Then I would like to know more information, please.
I don't know that you're gonna get it.
That's fine.
Back to being scared, but
that's fine.
Because there was a time or two where you thought, well, why this? And I wish I'd written it down because I don't remember what it was you said. But you're like, well, why did that something? And I was like, I wonder if that's one of the things that we don't know. To my understanding, they call it the It.
Mm-hmm.
So the It, which follows, I think it stays the same pace. So I think like if you were able...
Oh, what? Sleeping. I didn't know why it didn't get to her when she was in the hospital.
I just assumed she was far enough away. But yeah, I mean, there could be... I think that was it. There could be a reason why. Like maybe you have to be...
Like see it coming.
Yeah. That can't be true because there are 2 or 3 times in the movie, and these were the parts I found the most effective, where presumably it is following and she or they never realize. Like when they're in the library and she's talking to the librarian when they find out what school he's from, you see...
Oh, yeah, that gal walking across the courtyard for sure.
And they even drive past her, but they never acknowledge it. And so there's times like that, which that taps into that thing where it's like, how many times have you been... And this can go good or bad, but how many times has something crazy almost happened to you and you had no clue?
Right.
So my understanding was that it follows at a steady pace. And I'm not sure how it switches because he says it can look like someone close to you or it can be a stranger. So I don't know if it needs to encounter the person in order to embody them or what. I was a little curious. I accepted it because it added to the upsetting, disturbing nature of it, but I was a little curious as to why, because the first time we see it, it's a nude woman, which is fine. The second time we see it, it's a woman with a titty hanging out and urinating.
Yeah. Just piss everywhere.
I wondered, other than that's disturbing, I wondered why that. I will take this note to say that we did a reaction. It is not edited. It hasn't been looked and edited yet, so I'm assuming it's usable. But if it's usable and you want to see us watch it, you can watch along and see some of these reaction. The naked man on the roof took you all the way out. Because that's another one of the ones where it was like, did he climb up there? How did he get up there?
Yeah.
At what point did the clothes come off?
Yeah.
Like, Did it take the clothes off? And is it actually these people, or is it just taking on their vestige, or they're like?
That's a good point, because when they're in that shed and they bust the hole open and like the scary ghost boy is like peering through there. Yeah. And it's the neighbor boy who was like spying on Jay in the very beginning. And then we see him later on his bicycle. And for a second, I was like, they have bikes now? You know? And so I don't know.
You just throw a stick in the spokes and you've defeated it.
Yeah. And so it's just, and then do we know if the dad died or left? I would assume left, because that's who was lobbing all of the shit in the swimming pool. I'm not super clear on the thinking of like what the plan was exactly.
I thought the plan was to throw it in there and then electrocute it.
Same, but nothing was plugged in.
Well, they were. When it was picking it up, it was unplugging, because they were plugging the things in when they got in there. But like when it was picking up and hucking them, they were obviously coming out of the wall.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a half-baked plan, which...
Well, and again, the fucking gun made an appearance. Guns don't help in supernatural experiences.
True. I understand that. But let me ask you, given your childhood, given the way you grew up, and something supernatural is coming at you, are you going to try to not shoot it?
If something tells me it's just going... If a person says... Hey, so like this thing is going to follow you. It just walks, so don't let it catch up. I'd be like, sweet, getting on an airplane. Goodbye.
That's what I said. I was like, I'd get a job as a flight attendant.
Yeah, great thinking. If it were me doing the shooting, that would make sense. But if you, who cannot see this supernatural thing coming after me, if you picked up a gun, I'd be like, bro, don't do that, because you're going to shoot me. You know what I mean?
that added a level of humor to it, because they just both times end up shooting the friend.
Yes.
But here's the thing. In defense of the gun, it did take it down. It never killed it.
It's a weeble wobble. It got right back the fuck up.
But it demobilized it enough for them to get away. So there was value in it. It just wasn't always utilized.
They ran into a shed where they were unsure if there was a working exit, and then just locked the door, and then the thing punched through the door, and then they were like, well, I guess I'll run out the sliding thing. God, and then she drove into a fucking cornfield. I just can't. God.
You really hated her.
It's right there. It's right there. Directions. Follow the directions.
Yeah, okay.
If your life depended, I'm sorry if I'm being such a killjoy, but if your life depended on it, and if someone gave you directions of like what they've figured out, this is the same thing that like me and Dustin used to get mad at Christopher over, because Christopher would make the same mistakes, and we were like, bro, you've had two people fuck up and you had the chance to learn from them. Why are you still doing the same thing? So you have someone laying out for you exactly what you can do to keep yourself alive. Hugh has kept himself alive long enough to infect someone else. So maybe just take a second and figure. Yes, I mean, the first time you see it, be very scared, but like figure it out.
And if we are going to play this game, you do have to factor in that when dealing with both of us, and probably even more so you than me, probably more so you and Kristen than me. You'd think it would be the other way around, but you two are more than willing to accept the likelihood of a supernatural. You'd be like, oh, it's magic, got it. Yeah. Okay, well, and I'd be trying to rationalize it away. Like I'd be trying to be like, but no, it can't. I mean, it's not like real magic. And you're like, not gonna take that chance.
Nope. I mean, no, absolutely not. My high school theater was haunted. I was scared to go into the theater sometimes. So when I would walk in there, my solution was to say, hello, Abigail. I acknowledge your presence. I don't want to see you today, because if I do, I will pee my pants and I don't have a second pair of pants.
I would be like, your high school's not haunted. And I'd go in there and then I'd have some weird occurrence and I'd go and explain it to you. Like, isn't that weird? And you'd be like, bitch. Yeah.
Perhaps like feeling a set of hands on your back in the middle of a performance when your co-star is on the other side of the stage and you can feel all 10 of their fingers on your back. Yeah. Okay. It's a little spoopy.
I did really love this movie. I found it very, very, very aesthetic. I think it is one of the modern day horror classics. you talked about watching it, how much it felt like kind of like an older slasher movie.
With the organ. It's not an
It's
organ,
real
but like
synthy.
synthy. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. But very synthy.
Very
just the
interesting,
knitted sweaters.
Very interesting, unique score. And though it is retro, it's not as simple as just retro. Like
No.
it's not like one of those like it's not an imitation.
No, it has something to say, I think, socioeconomically, especially taking place in Detroit, and then especially like a Detroit suburb.
The movie really captures that feeling of 18 and 19, where you're like technically an adult, but not quite, like them drinking on the porch and the way they were hanging out with each other and stuff. Another thing is the director very intentionally, he wanted it to feel dreamlike. And he didn't want to give it a time period. So that's why, for instance, the like really old TV is in her room. And you were very preoccupied with the Shell e-reader. You are not alone. They made it for this movie.
Okay.
He just wanted it to be kind of surreal, and he didn't think much of it. And he says it's the number one question that he's asked about the movie.
Yeah, because it looks like a Polly Pocket.
And people, apparently young women are like, I need that.
Yeah,
like,
it's pinging like a really heavy piece of nostalgia.
That was Olivia Liccardi is the character with that. And she is in a phenomenal, if you like horror, she's in a phenomenal season of the show Channel Zero. It's the third season. There's 4 seasons. I hear they're all great, but I've only watched the third one. It's Butcher's Block, in which she and fave of the show, Holland Roden, play sisters. It's really good. It has to deal with cannibalism.
No.
And particularly eating yourself.
No.
There's a scene with Holland Roden in the bathtub.
No.
Where she like cuts off a piece of her leg.
I've seen that, I think.
There was commercials for it on the Magicians.
Yeah. Yes.
It was excellent. It was so good. The show was so good. I highly recommend it. But I think this cast was really good. I really liked Mika Monroe. She played Jay. The elephant in the room is that I think she's gorgeous, and she is 100% my type if I was going to be into girls. Which, I mean, on occasion.
And I don't mean to like victim blame or whatever.
I think you do. In this weird sex metaphor, I think you're very like, I got my shit together.
In the very beginning when she is going on this date with Hugh and she's walking into the woods at nighttime, it's just like, no, bitch. Incorrect. Just the entire time. I don't know if any of you guys watch or listen to My Favorite Murder, but their whole like saying is stay sexy, don't get murdered. And they also have another saying called stay the fuck out of the forest. That's all that was pinging in my head. If a guy that I was just starting to see, he was like, hey, let's go on this date with a backdrop of an abandoned building, and we're going to walk through the woods to get to wherever we need to go. And I'll be like, no, absolutely not. Will not, because I don't know you like that. And so you're going to like cut out my innards and turn them into a jaunty hat.
Whereas for me, some of my best dates have been in the woods with a strange man. That's all I'll say about that.
Well,
the male and female experience is different.
Yeah, because it says that's a perfect example, because it's like, as women, we're like royally fucked no matter where we go. With if it doesn't matter if it's with someone that we feel safe with, it doesn't matter if it's a stranger, it doesn't matter if it's like an acquaintance, it does not fucking matter. So that's why like I get, in these slasher films when these women tend to make like these decisions, and I'm just kind of like, ugh, because it's like, you've been educated, like this is beat into our brains from, sadly, since like preschool. Like it's really terrible and really gross, and I feel really bad, but it's just like, don't run into the bedroom when you can't get out.
Okay, well, a man wrote this.
No.
A man wrote and directed this, so at a certain point, you just have.
I quit.
I did like, what was the name? Greg?
Oh my God. That's what. Okay. So I also want to know, did he volunteer his tribute, or did he really just want to have sex with Jamie? Because Paul absolutely was like, I volunteer for you. But then also was like, I love you, but like mostly I volunteer.
I don't know.
for you.
Apparently he's too busy kissing his sister. There was a lot of weird asides in this movie.
Well, no, because he okay, no. Because at first I was like, huh? But then I thought about it because so in that exchange, he kissed Jay and then turned around and kissed Kelly, her sister. And so I think the three of them were really tight knit.
Oh.
And so it's like kissing your sister.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's not. Yeah.
I was like, this movie threatens you with places that it doesn't follow through.
Yeah. Yeah, because I double checked, and so I paid attention when Jay called out her sister's name, so it was Kelly. So I was like, oh, that's who it was.
Okay. Again, capturing that feeling, that youthful feeling. I like that her friends were there for her and
absolutely.
were along this ride, even with their varying degrees of buying into it. At the bottom of the scale, this is something that she believes.
Mm-hmm.
So to an extent, you have to be there for her. She is in danger.
Believe women.
You know, the top of the scale, it's real, in which case, yikes.
Mm-hmm.
We do actually, I was about to say, we don't ever see what it does, but we do because of Greg, which.
More urine.
And his mother.
Yeah, that was far. Okay.
So it's not actually possessing the people, though. It just takes on their illusion.
Their essence, yeah.
And he was very, it was very The Ring. Because that girl in the beginning was fucked up, but like.
It was, yeah.
There's the picture for the.
I almost kind of was a little glad that Greg got it, because when they were like, have you seen anything? And he was like, I haven't seen anything. And they're like, but you believe her, right? And he was like, I don't think what she.
He's like, I believe something.
Yeah, but it was still very much was like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And it's just like, well, you know what? Go fuck yourself. And I'm glad that you're dead now.
Also, I'm sorry. I do believe he didn't see anything. There could be like a marching band of its coming towards him, and he'd be.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, the fact that he was just so willing to be like, what the fuck, mom? And open the door knowing full well. But see, there you go. He would
only be afraid of it if it had shampoo. Sorry.
Or long pants. Because he was wearing some man capris like it was his fucking job. Let's just, yeah. So I have a question. Since you said the thing about like me and Kristen like so ready to buy into the supernatural, would you believe us if we were like, this thing is coming at us and we can't see it?
I would like to say yes.
No, you wouldn't believe us at all.
I think anyone that's ever seen more than one episode of this show would know that my answer would be like, I believe you believe that.
For sure.
I want to. I would definitely. You would have my attention and concern. I might need.
What you literally just said was thoughts and prayers. Literally. Best wishes, warmest regards. That's what you just said.
No, because I think I spent so much time thinking about this because I know you guys would believe me. Well, would you though? Would you?
Fuck yeah. I'd be like, you know what? I can't see it, but I'm trying to find it.
You're just kicking him.
No, when he was like, point at it so I know where it is. That's what I would tell you. Be like, point at it. And I'd be like, I don't know, but I'm going to try to hit it.
I would be, let me put it this way. I would be in the movie. I would absolutely be in the movie.
Uh-huh.
And I'd be either to the end, where I'm killed, or to the end. It might take me a minute. It might take me a step or two to get there.
I feel like you would have been.
When did this become like?
I feel like you would have been Yara. Was that? I think that was her. The one with with the Polly Pocket reader. That would be you.
It would just be a Polly Pocket, though.
Yeah. No. It would be a Polly Pocket.
There'd be no reading.
And you'd be like, we'd be doing like a stakeout or whatever, like waiting and, like with a baseball bat. And you'd be like, look what I made Polly do. It would be great.
I'd be skeptical until you're like, wait, he's naked. And I'd be like, wait, where? What? Have we tried fucking him?
So speaking of that, I would just like to say right now, if I was Jamie, I also would
Jay.
Is
her name Jamie?
Yeah, they called her Jamie, but Jay for short. I also would just be lining dudes up and just being like, pew, 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 because the farther
away. Well, because we never did find out the boat. Did she swim out to that boat? I think that was her plan. I guess it didn't ever.
Listen, if I have to fuck to save my life, I will fuck to save my life. Okay?
Let the DJ save my life.
Yeah. Especially if I'm going to ruin a fresh cast. No, absolutely. No, going out there. And can we also just talk about the most Midwestern sunbathing day I have ever seen in my life, where you're in shorts, a bathing suit top, and then knee-high knit socks?
She was like, guarantee you it's 55 degrees there.
100%. Oh yeah, no, I lived in Minnesota for 4 years, so it's like when it gets nice out, it's just titties out. But nice out means 50 degrees. Mm-hmm. I have witnessed people driving convertibles with their tops down when it's 32. I have never looked more forward to more 30-degree days in my life than I did in those 4 years. It's cold.
I also found the ending to be a interesting bit of commentary where we have, these two young people in suburbia, and as we mentioned, Michigan and Detroit in a place of transition. And we have these two young people who were sort of hoisted together by circumstance, mm-hmm. and are seemingly trying to give it a go, but there was sort of a there was a little bit of a Casey Musgraves merry-go-round vibe to the end, especially with them sort of walking and then the person behind them, which of course we have no way of knowing. So I found it very, very beautiful. I love especially that scene towards the beginning where she's looking in the mirror with that strange nouveau lamp, mm-hmm. and it's that orange, pink, and aqua. She's getting ready for
the date with Hugh. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And
that puka shell necklace.
It's coming back, damn it. If I ever had an aesthetic, let me tell you.
I believe you believe that.
I don't like this game.
I liked it.
So you did.
Yeah, I enjoyed myself. I don't know that I will want to turn it on again, just because that's not my thing. With scary movies, I don't elect to be scared a lot of the time. But this was just kind of fun to watch, mm-hmm. especially once I realized I was not going to be crying because I was so scared.
Mm-hmm. I give it a lot of reverence because we're in a position, or we're in a place of elevated horror. It's a very good time, for very kind of highbrow art house horror, and I consider this one of the four runners, or one of the grandfathers of this place that we're in.
And I cannot stress enough how grateful I am that it wasn't gross.
There's
just stabby,
or three, sort of that scene. This is the worst part.
Yeah, which I thank you for ripping the Band-Aid off in the beginning, but also that was kind of a mind fuck, because then it's that's the first thing you're giving me. So then
it sets a precedent that it doesn't really.
Yeah, which I think added a whole other layer to it that I enjoyed, because I was always kind of scared and waiting for it, but it never really happened, especially.
And even that we're just given aftermath.
Yeah, because I can't with the stabby and the gross. I can't do it. I just, mm-hmm. I don't want it. I'd rather just be scared. this is what I like. Just scare me. Don't gross me out on top of it.
Well, and you ended up, we don't know if anything's ever going to come of the footage, but you ended up actually really enjoying Hill House, which mm-hmm. it had elements of gore, but mm-hmm. it was not gory, is what I would say.
No, not at all.
So okay, yeah, you're more atmospheric. You're more spooky, atmospheric.
Oh, when the fucking hair, when she pulled the hair up, bye. Nope. That scared me.
So my interpretation of that when you were watching that is because we obviously see the person coming. Mm-hmm. I don't know. My interpretation of you watching that scene was I was waiting for them to all see her and for you to think it was going to be a fake out. And then when it was real and her hair just went straight up.
No, I knew she was 100% coming because Jay had her back to the woods.
Because the first girl was actually smart.
Mm-hmm.
Put your back against the ocean.
Yes.
Or lake.
Yeah. Put your back up against, like, you could see everything coming at you. But sorry to Jamie, I guess. Like, sorry for, like, being mad at you, but, like, do better. I don't know. No, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad because now I know Jennifer's Body hasn't come out yet, but so I like that we are so far, well, actually 4 for 4, if I'm being honest, with all like the spooky things that I've watched this season.
And Midsommar was a fluke. You just watched, like, we didn't make you watch that one.
Fucking ruined my life, man. Woo. Woo. No, that was like, I elect to do this, la la la. And then
it was the worst one.
Yeah. But so maybe that's why.
So I think you're right. You don't like slashers, but I think you like horror, or you can fathom.
I like psychological thrillers.
Yeah.
Make
well, then
the
you
brain
might
work.
like the Babadook. Babadook is about grief.
Well, and also, isn't he like a gay icon?
I mean, in the movie, he's just scary.
Well,
That's retro, and he does kill the dog. In Babadook.
See why?
I don't think we see it. I think it's aftermath, but
Man,
it's like a foofy dog, if that makes.
no, it doesn't make it better. Man, people stabbing cats on Nancy Drew and everything. I can't get away from it.
It's really in vogue right now. I don't
Why?
know what it is about killing animals.
Please,
That's like, yeah.
I don't like it.
And actually, I did want to say that this has probably one of my. It didn't get you, but it has one of my probably top 10 favorite scares that I ever experienced, and it's the tall man.
Oh, I did not care for that, but
You didn't like it, but it was heart stopping for me. When
really
it happened.
interesting.
It was utterly heart stopping. I don't know why, because she had already encountered the woman in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But there was something about it that I was just, it was like, so my thing when something is really, really scary is I go like this. I go, and I did that. Like, I was like, and so that one got me, but.
See, and I Heisman. So, but at that point, I'm already in, like, gotta
You
figure
were in
it out.
survival
Let's
mode
get
by
it.
that point.
Yep. So I'm just like, yep. No, I'm literally Heismaning like other scary things out of the way.
Okay, well, that was our conversation about It Follows. If you would like to see the reaction, we'll link it, or maybe you watched it and got here. I don't know. Look around. Like and subscribe. I mean, hey, we've got tons of this shit. We've got episodes going back. We've been doing videos since last October.
Woo,
and then on top of that, we have like 300. Yeah. I didn't think.
Yay.
We have like 300 just podcast episodes alone. So if you want to listen to any of that, you can go to soimwatching.com. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/soimwatchingtheshow. Find us on social at soimwatching. All that. I'm Willow719, WILLO 719. You are
Raynut, RAENUTT.
So there's that. And yeah, like, subscribe, and we'll see you. We'll see you soon.
Bye.